The previous video covered the silent generation. Now let's expound on the baby boomers 1946-1964. Let's first expand on the meaning of work-centric values. Work-centric values, often associated with baby boomers, but also relevant to other generations, emphasize dedication to career, job loyalty, and a strong work ethic as central to identity and success. Below is a breakdown of these values, their context, and how they manifest. This piece will outline key work-centric values. Work as identity. Career often defines self-worth. Boomers, in particular, tied personal success to job titles or professional achievements. Loyalty to employer. Long-term commitment to one company was common, with expectations of stability and pensions. Strong work ethic. Emphasis on hard work, long hours, and paying dues to climb the corporate ladder. Duty and sacrifice. Prioritizing job responsibilities over personal life, often valuing organizational goals over individual needs. FaceTime culture. Physical presence in the workplace was seen as a sign of commitment, with less focus on work-life balance. Historical context of the baby boomer generation include post-World War II economic boom. Boomers entered a thriving job market with opportunities for upward mobility, fostering loyalty to employers. Cultural norms. The American dream tied success to hard work and career achievement, reinforced by societal expectations. Limited technology. Pre-digital workplaces relied on in-person collaboration, reinforcing long hours and office culture. Comparison of work-centric values across generations as opposed to baby boomers. Silent generation 1928-1945. Shared work-centric values, focusing on stability and civic duty, often staying with one employer for life. Generation X 1965-1980. Began questioning loyalty due to corporate downsizing, valued independence but still work hard. Millennials 1981-1996. Shifted toward purpose-driven work, seeking flexibility and meaning over long-term loyalty. Generation Z 1997-2012. Prioritizes work-life balance, mental health, and job mobility, often rejecting traditional work-centric ideals. Modern relevance. Decline in work-centricity. Younger generations, millennials, Gen Z, often view work as a means to an end, not an identity, influenced by gig economies, remote work, and economic uncertainty. Boomer legacy. Boomers' work-centric values shape corporate structures, but their retirement has led to clashes with younger workers' preferences for flexibility. Cultural variations. Work-centric values are stronger in collectivist cultures, as in Japan, South Korea, compared to individualistic ones, where personal fulfillment is prioritized. The baby boomers, born approximately 1946-1964, are named for the dramatic spike in birth rates following World War II, creating a large and influential cohort that reshaped society through their idealism, economic power, and cultural revolutions. Growing up in a time of post-war prosperity and social upheaval, they are known for their work-centric values, ambition, and transformative impact on politics, culture, and the economy. The following is a detailed exploration of their historical context, characteristics, work-centric values, cultural contributions, and legacy. Historical context. Baby boomers were shaped by a dynamic era of economic growth, social change, and global tensions. Post-war prosperity, 1945-1960, born into a booming U.S. economy with expanding suburbs, rising consumerism, and widespread access to education via the GI Bill. This fostered optimism and opportunity. Cold War, 1947-1991. Baby boomers grew up with nuclear fears, the space race, and anti-communist sentiment, influencing their worldview and ambitions. Civil rights movement, 1950-1960. This generation witnessed and participated in struggles for racial equality, with events like the March on Washington and the Civil Rights Act shaping their activism. Vietnam War, 1955-1975, a divisive conflict that radicalized many boomers, sparking anti-war protests and countercultural movements. Cultural revolutions, 1960-1970. The sexual revolution, second wave feminism, and environmentalism emerged, driven by boomer energy and idealism. Economic shifts, 1970-1980. Faced stagflation and oil crises, but later benefited from the tech boom and globalization, though inequality grew. Here are some key characteristics about the baby boomers. Idealism and activism, known for challenging authority, from anti-war protests to civil rights and women's liberation. They believed in changing the world through collective action. Iconic moments include Woodstock and campus protests against Vietnam. Individualism and ambition sought personal fulfillment alongside societal change, balancing self-expression with career success. Valued education and upward mobility, leveraging post-war opportunities. Cultural innovation drove the counterculture, embracing rock music, experimental lifestyles, and new social norms, as in cohabitation and relaxed dress codes. Later, as they aged, they mainstreamed these changes, shaping modern media and consumer culture. Optimism and opportunity grew up in an era of relative stability, fostering confidence in progress and personal achievement, unlike the silent generation's caution. Diversity of experience. Early boomers, 1946-1955, were more countercultural, while later boomers, 1956-1964, leaned pragmatic, entering adulthood during economic challenges. Work-centric values. Baby boomers are renowned for a strong work ethic and career focus, defining work as a core part of identity and success. Work as identity. This generation saw careers as a path to self-fulfillment and social status. Job titles and professional achievements were central to their sense of self, more so than the silent generation's focus on stability. Popularized the workaholic stereotype, often prioritizing work over family or leisure. Ambition and competition. Baby boomers entered a competitive job market with a large cohort, driving ambition to stand out. They climbed corporate ladders or pursued entrepreneurial ventures. Valued education, with many becoming the first in their families to attend college, fueling professional aspirations. Loyalty with limits. Early in their careers, they showed loyalty to employers, expecting long-term rewards like pensions. However, unlike the silent generation, they were more willing to switch jobs for better opportunities as corporate loyalty waned in the 1980s. Long hours and FaceTime culture. Boomers embrace a culture of visibility. We're being seen at the office, often 60-plus hours a week, signaled dedication. Remote work was unimaginable in their prime. This contrasted with Gen X's push for efficiency and Millennials' focus on work-life balance. Diverse career paths dominated expanding sectors like technology, as in Silicon Valley's rise, finance, healthcare, and media. Women enter the workforce in greater numbers, driven by feminism and economic necessity. Pioneered dual-income households, reshaping family dynamics. Gender dynamics. Women face barriers but broke into male-dominated fields, as in law and medicine, inspired by feminist leaders like Gloria Steinem. Still, many juggled second-shift domestic responsibilities. Cultural contributions. Baby boomers redefined culture through their creativity, activism, and sheer numbers. Music and entertainment drove the rock and roll explosion with bands like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix, and Bob Dylan, whose music became anthems of rebellion and change. Later, they shaped disco, punk, and new wave with artists like David Bowie and Madonna, a late boomer. Produced iconic filmmakers like Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese, revolutionizing Hollywood with blockbusters and personal storytelling. Literature and media. Writers like Toni Morrison and Philip Roth explored identity and societal change. Journalists like Tom Wolfe pioneered new journalism, blending narrative with reporting. Created TV shows like All in the Family that tackled social issues, reflecting their values. Technology and innovation laid the foundation for the digital age, with boomers like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates launching the personal computer revolution. Their demand for convenience fueled consumer tech, from VCRs to early cell phones. Social movements, advanced feminism, as in Betty Friedan, though born 1921, inspired boomers, LGBTQ+ rights, as in Stonewall riots, and environmentalism, as in First Earth Day. The baby boomer generation's activism normalized protest as a tool for change. Here are some of the social and political impacts of the baby boomers. Civil rights and equality played a key role in desegregation, voting rights, and affirmative action, though some resisted change as they aged. Political polarization. Early boomers leaned liberal, as an anti-war, pro-civil rights, but many became conservative in the 1980s, supporting Reagan and Thatcher. This split persists in their political influence today. Economic power. Their size and productivity drove GDP growth, but their consumption habits also fueled debt and environmental strain. Family and education. The baby boomers raised large families, the millennials emphasizing education and achievement. Their parenting style was often protective, contrasting with the silent generation's restraint. Here are some of the challenges and criticisms faced by the baby boomers. Self-centered reputation. Stereotyped as a me generation, coined by Tom Wolfe, prioritizing personal success over collective good, especially as they embrace the 1980s materialism. Economic inequality. Benefited from affordable education and housing, but their policies, as in tax cuts and deregulation, are blamed for widening wealth gaps, burdening younger generations. Resistance to change. As they age, some resisted social progress, as in same-sex marriage, climate action, clashing with millennials and Gen Z. Work-life imbalance. Their workaholic culture set unrealistic expectations, criticized by Gen X and millennials for burnout and neglecting family. The following are some of the modern perceptions and legacies the baby boomers hold. Aging influence. By 2025, boomers are age 61, 79, many retired or semi-retired. They hold significant wealth and political power, influencing elections and policy, as in healthcare, social security. Cultural dominance. Their music, films, and values still permeate pop culture, though younger generations critique their environmental and economic legacy. Generational tension. Millennials and Gen Z often resent boomers for inheriting a tougher economy, as in student debt, housing costs, leading to phrases like, "Okay, boomer," in online discourse. Here are some fun facts about baby boomers. The term baby boom reflects a U.S. birth rate peak of 4.3 million annually in the 1950s, totaling about 76 million Americans. Iconic figures include Oprah Winfrey, Barack Obama, Meryl Streep, and Elon Musk, born 1971, but influenced by boomer culture. They were the first generation raised with widespread television, watching shows like The Ed Sullivan Show. Their love of cars fueled the muscle car era, as in the Ford Mustang and Chevrolet Camaro. Let's look now at the previously expanded thought on work-centric values. Comparing baby boomers to other generations. Lost generation, 1883, 1900, less work-centric, focusing on creative or survival-driven work with little institutional loyalty due to disillusionment. Greatest generation, 1901-1927, shared a strong work ethic, but tied work to national duty and survival, while boomers sought personal fulfillment and status. Silent generation, 1928-1945, more conformist and security-driven, staying with one employer, while boomers were ambitious and open to job switching for advancement. Generation X, 1965-1980, rejected boomer workaholism, prioritizing efficiency and skepticism of corporate loyalty. The baby boomer generation, born between 1946 and 1964, benefited from strong economic growth, affordable housing, and booming equity markets, amassing significant wealth through entrepreneurship, technology, and investments. Below is a short list of some of the richest individuals from this generation. Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, Bill Gates, co-founder of Microsoft, Larry Ellison, founder of Oracle. The baby boomer generation drove innovation during a period of rapid technological and social change, particularly in computing, communication, and medicine. Here's a short list of their most impactful inventions. Personal computer. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, Apple. Bill Gates, Microsoft. Internet protocols. Vinton Cerf and Robert Kahn. Mobile phone, Martin Cooper. MRI scanner, Raymond Damadian. The baby boomer generation produced writers who shaped literature during a time of social upheaval, including the civil rights movement, Vietnam War, and cultural revolutions. Their works often explore identity, politics, and personal freedom. Here's a short list of some of the most prominent literary figures from this generation and their key contributions. Stephen King, known for Carrie and The Shining, redefined popular fiction, blending psychological depth with supernatural elements. Tony K. Bambara, known for Bambara's Gorilla, My Love, and The Salt Eaters. Margaret Atwood, known for The Handmaid's Tale and Cat's Eye. Don DeLillo, known for White Noise and Underworld. Alice Walker, known for The Color Purple, which won her a Pulitzer Prize. The baby boomer generation produced musicians who defined the cultural revolutions of the 1960s, 80s, shaping rock, pop, folk, and soul during times of social change like the Civil Rights Movement and Vietnam War. Here's a short list of prominent musicians from this generation and their key contributions. Paul McCartney, known for songs like Hey Jude and Let It Be. Joni Mitchell, known for Blue and Cord and Spark. Bruce Springsteen, known as The Boss, and known for Born to Run. And born in the USA, Stevie Wonder, known for songs in the key of life and superstition. David Bowie, a chameleon of rock, known for Ziggy Stardust and Let's Dance. Thank you for taking the time to view this video. If you like exploring topics that stay outside the typical subject matter, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And be sure to hit the notification bell for the next part covering the exploration of the generations over the past 150 years. In this part, we covered the baby boomer generation. In our next video, we will cover Generation X. Look for links in the description for our YouTube channels, which explore other areas. Also, look at other videos on this site. Thank you.